Hello dear friends, welcome to Gate Academy Global. So before starting today's session, I would like to take the feedback or the concurrence regarding the quality of audio as well as video. If it is perfect, just write perfect over the live chat and then we are ready to go. The students who are new to the series of this engineering mathematics, let me give a bit idea what we have been covering over the series of the engineering mathematics. Already the 3 number of lectures has been taken place in yesterday, day before yesterday and probably last to last class. The 3 lectures already been over and there I have started the engineering mathematics from very scratch. At very first class I was discussing about the logarithmic function, from where the concept of the logarithmic function do come, how the logarithmic functions looks like over the 2D plane. There are several kinds of the properties which were taught in the first class. In second as well as third class I was discussing about the 2D straight line, and even in last class I have taken around 5 to 6 number of problems which were based on the concept of straight line, and those sort of problems are repeatedly being asked into the different streams of the gate. Could you understand? So the student who are new to the series of this engineering mathematics, they must have the fair idea that we are going to learn each and individual minute details of the engineering mathematics from the very basics, such that you will have a very good strength over the engineering mathematics. And yes, if you have a good strength over the engineering mathematics, definitely you are going to rock in your technical subjects also. So it has been the 4th video over the series of the engineering mathematics where we are learning each and everything from the basics. And here I have been discussing about the basic curve. The agenda behind today's video is to discuss the basic curve, and that basic curve is nothing but the straight line, and we are going to take around 5 to 6 number of problems in today's class. So in today's class, the concept of the straight line or the straight line as a basic curve would get over. So without getting delayed, let me straight away hop into the problem which we are going to take in today's class. Here goes the problem. My dear friends, if you will be able to recall, in last class we have taken total 6 number of problems which were started from the first. Total 6 number of problems were discussed in the last class, and yes, they all were based on the concept of the straight line. So we'll move forward and we'll start from the 7 and we'll try to go till 13th if the time permits. So the agenda behind the today's video is to take around 6 to 7 number of problems which has been left out. At very beginning, let me focus over the first question, and that has been find the equation of the straight line which is tangent and perpendicular on x square plus of y square is equals to of 8 at point 2, 2. For the better understanding what I would be doing over here, I would be taking this problem into the working board. Yes, let me bring this problem into the working board. Just a minute. Here comes the problem. Yeah, this would be the first question of the day, and in series it would be the 7th question. Let me read the problem carefully and let me decode what has been clearly asked with this problem, and then we'll see how we'll be approaching with this sort of problem. This problem states find the equation of the straight line which is tangent and perpendicular on x square plus of y square is equals to 8. Obviously it is an equation of circle having radius is equals to of 2 root 2 and centered at 0, 0 at point 2, 2. Once you'll focus over these 2 important points, you yourself would be able to make one thing clear. This problem consists of 2 different varieties of the problem. At first we had to find the tangent over the point 2, 2, and secondly we had to find the perpendicular over the point 2, 2. So it has been the amalgamation of the 2 different kinds of the problem. In first problem we have been discussing about the tangent, and in second problem we have been discussing about the perpendicular. Anyways, I would seek the answer from each one of you. Try to solve this problem by yourself and try to get the answer. Probably how much time it should be taking? Not more than 60 seconds. So I would expect from each one of you, the student who are live over the live chat, they must be able to smash this problem out within 60 seconds. Read the problem carefully and break the problem into the small segment of the parts, and end of the day get the equation of the straight line which has been the tangent over this circle at a point 2, 2, and similarly perpendicular over this circle at a point 2, 2. Tell me what would be the most answer for this given problem. Sir, please continue the series, as many series of Gate Academy started and stopped after 18 to 20 lectures. Satyam, I can ensure at least one thing. I am going to cover the complete basics of the engineering mathematics. So all sort of the basics which are required to build the actual strength of any of the subject, that part anyhow I am going to cover. So you need not to worry about it. I am not assuring that the complete engineering mathematics is getting covered, but yes, all of the basic requirement of the engineering mathematics is getting covered. That is why I am dealing each and everything from the minute part of its basic. Minute part of its basic. Yes. So here goes the solution. Here goes the solution. The equation of circle has been clearly given to you. Yes, it has been x square plus of y square is equals to of 8. If you'll be talking about the character of this circle, the circle has been centered along origin. And if I'll be comparing r square with the 8, definitely the value would be 2 root 2. The radius of this circle has been 2 root 2. Yes. How did we know about it? Obviously, we can compare with the standard format of the circle. X minus a square minus y minus of b square is equals to of r square, where a comma b has been the center of the circle, and r has been the radius of the circle, radius. Yes. Let me try to smash this problem out with the graphical approach. I know many of the students like my graphical approach a lot, such that they used to learn each and everything with the help of graphs itself. So what I would be doing at very beginning, I would be drawing x square plus of y square is equals to 8, which would be a circle having a radius is equals to 2 root 2 and centered along the origin. For that, let me take a 2D plane. Here it has become a 2D plane, where the horizontal axis dedicates towards x-axis, whereas the vertical axis has been dedicated towards y-axis. Let me draw a circle over here. Which would be centered along the origin. Yes, it has been centered along the origin. And if we'll be talking about its radius, the radius has been 2 root 2. Precisely, if you want to know where they have been intersecting over the positive, negative x and y axis, you yourself would be able to understand. It would be 2 root 2 comma of 0. Here it goes minus of 2 root 2 comma of 0. Here it goes 0 2 root 2, and similarly here it goes 0 minus of 2 root 2. Yes. And the radius of this circle has been 2 root 2, and the centered has been at origin. Now what has been asked over here? Find the equation of a straight line which is tangent. Yes, which is tangent over the circle. My dear friends, if we'll be talking about the tangent over the circle, there are infinite number of tangent which can be built. Let me show how the infinite number of tangent can be built. Yes, this would be the first tangent which has been the tangent over the circle at this point. Let's take this point as a P1. The second tangent could be this tangent. Obviously, it has been the tangent over the circle once again, but over the next point. So how many such points you can have over the circle? The infinite number of such point you can have over the circle. That means you can have the infinite number of tangent over this circle. That is why it has been precisely given that you had to draw the tangent over the point 2, 2. The next thing comes in mind whether the 2, 2 has been the part of the circle or not. Obviously, it has been the part of circle. How? If you feed x as 2, it becomes 2 to the power of 2. 2 to the power of 2. Once we add them together, it becomes 4 plus 4, and that has been 8. What does that mean of it? That means the 2, 2 satisfies the equation of x square plus y square is equals to of 8. That means the 2, 2 has been falling on or over circle. 2, 2. May I know in which quadrant it would be? Obviously, 2, 2 would be in first quadrant. So let me take this has been the first quadrant. Let me take this has been the first quadrant, and the point has been 2, 2. Slope of all tangent will be minus x by y for all. Anyways, we'll see that. Keep aside each and everything. What I am saying, just focus over this point and tell me how will you get the equation of this straight line. You had to focus over the first straight line alone. What I am saying, you had to just focus over the equation of first straight line alone and tell me what would be the equation of this straight line. I would like to ask from each one of you. Tell me what would be the equation of this straight line. Tell me, my dear friends, tell me, how will you get the equation of this straight line? See what I would be doing, just try to understand what I am saying. What I would be doing, I would be drawing a tangent over this circle at a point 2 comma 2, and the tangent over this circle would be very same as the slope attained by this straight line. Should I be repeating once again? Yes. What I am saying, if you really want to know the equation of this straight line, if you'll recall what used to be the standard form of the straight line, that used to be y is equals to of mx plus c. How many number of unknowns we have? The two number of unknowns we have. That starts with the m and goes to c. What is the m over here? The m is nothing but the slope. The slope of the straight line has to be very same as the tangent over this point, or the slope over this point over the circle, So what I am going to do over here, for the basic understanding, I have taken the equation of the straight line has been y is equals to of mx plus c. Y is equals to of mx plus c. At very beginning, let me focus over the calculation of m first. At very beginning, let me focus over the calculation of m first. How will you get the value of m? X square plus of y square is equals to of 8 has been the governing equation of this circle. You have to get the slope of the circle at the point 2 comma 2. What would be that? That has to be equals to of dy by of dx. So obviously you have to calculate dy by of dx. For the calculation of the dy by of dx, what you are going to do over here, you are going to differentiate with respect to the x both other side. So once we differentiate x square with the x, obviously the result would be 2 of x, and once we differentiate y square, the result would be 2y of dy by dx. I have seen many of the times the student do mistake over this point of calculation, did not to do. See, the y square, the 2 would come out, and again the y would get differentiated with the x. So here it becomes 2y dy by of dx is equals to 0. So from here, my basic agenda is to get the value of dy by of dx is equals to the 2 and 2 is going to be cancelled out, as it has been common towards left hand side would be transferred towards right hand side, definitely would become 0. So the factor which we are getting is simply going to be minus x divided by of y. Minus x divided by of y. I would like to ask from each one of you, many of these students would have one sort of doubt. The slope is depending on only x, or whether it's depending on x and y both. I repeat once again, the slope over the circle is just a function of x, or whether it's a function of y also. Tell me. Over the live chat, I want the input from each one of you. The slope over this circle at any point, whether it is depending over the x, or whether it depends on the x as well as y both. X as well as y both. My dear friend, tell me, both. See why? Let's take this has been the point of x is equals to of 2. X is equals to of 2. Now at x is equals to 2, you have got the 2 points over the circle. The first had been at 2 comma of 2. The second would be at 2 comma of minus 2. Obviously, yes. And both have got the different slopes. That means if you just feed the x is equals to 2, towards the 2 comma 2, you are getting the slope as negative, and similarly towards the 2 comma minus 2, you are getting slope as positive. And you yourself would be able to understand, once you are feeding x as positive value, y as positive value, the slope has been negative. You can see now, either you draw the tangent over here, either you draw the tangent over here, either you draw the tangent over here, everywhere the slope is going to be negative. As the value of x is increasing, y is continuously decreasing. Yes. Similarly, in the same sequence, if you go towards the fourth quadrant, in the fourth quadrant, do you know what's happening over here? You yourself would be able to understand the value of x has been positive, whereas the value of y has been negative. If you take the reference over here, or here, you yourself would be able to understand, yes sir, if we draw the tangent over any of the point over the fourth quadrant, the slope is going to be again positive. Similarly, if you calculate over the second quadrant, what is happening over here? The value of x has been negative, the value of y has been positive. So alternatively, one negative, one positive, the result would be positive, and you yourself would be able to judge if you draw a tangent over the second quadrant over the circle, obviously the slope would be positive, and here the slope would be negative. Could you understand? Such a important conclusion, this differential equation has been possessed. Such a important component or condition or level sinks has been contained by this differential equation. And many of the times the students say, sir, why we are studying the concept of the differential equation, why the concept of the differential equation is so important, and why the questions are repeatedly being asked. Now the complete scenario is in front of you. Complete scenario is in front of you. Tell me, how will we doing so? So what I will be doing over here, precisely at 2, 2, if the calculation has to be made, the x would be kept as a 2, y would be kept as a 2, dy by dx, which would be the slope of this circle at point 2, 2, and even it would be the slope attained by the straight line at a 2, 2, which would be simply equals to of minus of 1. Minus of 1. Agreed? So if you'll recall, what was my straight line? The straight line was y is equals to mx plus c. The m has been known to me, which has been precisely minus x, and it has been minus. It has been minus. Now the next calculation goes for, c. My dear friends, you already know the straight line is passing through 2, 2. Yes, what I am saying? If you know the straight line has been passed through 2, 2, obviously you know the value of y, you know the value of x. From these two known values, you can get the value of c from here. So here it goes like 2 of minus 2 plus of c. So the result of c, what we get in our hand, is simply going to be 4. So let me calculate what would be the exactly straight line which has been the tangent over the circle x square plus of y square is equals to 8 at the precise point of the 2, 2. It's simply going to be minus of how much slope we have got it? Yes, minus of x plus of 4. Minus of x plus of 4. That means in future, if you will extend a bit now, in future, you yourself would be able to check it. Y is equals to, yes, you yourself would be able to check it. If you will extend a bit towards the back side, it would be striking to 0, 4. It would be striking 0, 4. So probably the answer for the first question must be clear to all of us. The straight line which has been the tangent over the circle x square plus y square is equals to 8 is the point 2, 2 has been precisely known to be y is equals to of minus x plus of 4. This answer is clearly known to all of us. Now the next question goes over here. You had to find the next equation of the straight line which has been the perpendicular over the straight line, and obviously the point has been 2, 2. Tell me what would be the bestmost answer? What would be the bestmost answer? The student who have been keep attending my class since the first day, definitely they would be able to tell the perfect answer. What would be the perpendicular at the point 2, 2? What does it mean by the perpendicular? If it has been the perpendicular over the circle, by default it has to be perpendicular over the tangent over that point. That means in short, you had to draw a straight line which has been the perpendicular, over the earlier straight line. Tell me, sir, I completed it in 40 seconds only. That's great, Nadir. That's great. But still, I am here to reveal each and individual concepts from the very scratch, from the very basics. That is why I am taking such a hell amount of time from the single problem itself. See, if we discuss about the perpendicular, my dear friends, if the two straight line has been the perpendicular to each other, what was the conclusion which we have derived earlier? Their slopes multiplication has to be minus 1, which we have seen earlier in the last class. Now I am not going to repeat that concept once again. If you really want to know from where those concepts have come, you can watch my earlier videos. What I am saying, if the two straight line has to be perpendicular to each other, their slope multiplication, let's take the slope of the first straight line has been m1, slope of the second straight line has been m2, their multiplication would be equals to of minus 1. And the slope of the first straight line has been clearly known to me, which has been minus 1 gets multiplied with the m2 and has to get compared with the minus 1. So m2 has to be by default plus 1 only. Yes, the slope has to be plus, there is no doubt as such, as the value of x is increasing, the value of y is also increasing. So here it goes, y is equals to, instead the minus of x, it would be plus of x, but here you had to find the c once again. You have to find the value of c once again, and easily I would be able to get the value of c just by feeding the values of intersection point of this straight line at point 2, 2. So what I would be doing over here, Again, this even the perpendicular point has been y has been 2 and even x has been 2. The value of c would be simply equals to of 0. So this straight line is going to be y is equals to of x, and almost you can pretend it is going to pass through the origin, and yes, it has been. Yes, it has been. Tell me how many number of students are live over this session. The 5 number of students are live over this session. I would like to take the feedback from each one of you. Could you understand each and individual minute detail from the beginning or not? If the answer is yes, write yes over the live chat, so at least I'll have a fair idea that you guys are getting connected with my concepts. You guys are getting connected with my concept, and yes, this was a very, very important outcome, that the dy by dx is going to be changed across minus of x divided by y. Satyam is yes, is responding very fast. Yes, thanks dear. Sir, need linear algebra and vector. We'll try that. We would start with the linear algebra itself. Many of the students have start asking regarding the linear algebra. So once the basic part is over, I will try to start with the linear algebra itself. So once we are done with the first question, now it's right time to move ahead with the second question. And the second question have come from the same variety of the questions which has been asked this year in electrical engineering. I repeat, almost this sort of problem has been asked in this year in the electrical engineering, but this problem is not the same problem which has been asked in the electrical engineering. Deliberately, I have molded the problem into the new form. Let me bring this problem into the working board such that we would be able to smash this problem into the great detail. Here goes the problem. This would be the second problem of the day. And obviously in the sequence, this is going to be the 8th problem of the day. Yes, tell me what would be the best most answer from each one of you. I'm just giving 1 minute to each one of you. Each of you. Tell me what is the best most answer for this given problem. I'm just giving 1 minute to each one of you. Let me check it out. What was the exact question which have come in electrical engineering? But yes, tell me what would be the best most answer for this given problem. How many students are live? The 6 students are live. I expect at least the 2 answer over the live chat. Tell me, how will you approach this problem? Anyways, at very beginning, let me read this problem carefully. We'll try to decode each and individual thing, and we'll try to smash this problem out graphically, as we have been doing so. My dear friends, I would repeat once again, if you really want to master over the engineering mathematics, there is no other go. You have to learn each and everything graphically. Either it's a differential equation, either it's a calculus, either it's a linear algebra, either it's a basic curve, either it is even probability distribution, probability density function, even the probability. You have to learn each and everything from the graphical point of view only. See what the problem states. Suppose the circle x square plus of y square is equals to be in 1, and x minus of 1 to the power of 2 plus of y minus 1 to the power of 2 has been r square, intersects each other orthogonally. Find the radius r. You had to find this radius r. Tell me, how will you approach this problem? As you have been dealing with the 2 different kinds of the circle, both have got the 2 different properties. Like if we're focusing over the first circle, it has been centered around the origin, and similarly it had the radius of 1, and similarly the second equation had been centered along 1, 1, and it had the radius is equals to of r. So let me write 2 governing equations, or 2 equations which has been followed over here. Here goes x square plus of y square is equals to 1. And the second equation has been again the equation of this circle, x minus of 1 to the power of 2. Here goes y minus of 1 to the power of 2. And here goes r of square, or r raised to 2. Agreed? Find tangent, then apply angle between. Anyways, whatever the answer you have, my dear friend, I would request Satyam, if you have got the exact most answer, just write the exact most answer what you are getting over the live chat. This has been the first equation, this has been the first equation, and this has been the second equation. If you'll be focusing over the first equation keenly, you'll get to know it has been a circle. Yes sir, it has been a circle centered at origin, and similarly if you'll be discussing about its radius, the radius has been precisely 1. Similarly, if we'll be focusing over the second structure, what had been its center? The center had been 1, 1. Obviously, again it has been circle. The center had been 1, 1. And if we'll be discussing about its radius, the radius is simply r. Graphically, let me mark both of the problem out. For that, I need to have a plane. The plane has to be xy plane, because you can see over here we have got the two variables x as well as y. So obviously it has to be drawn over the xy plane. Here goes the y-axis, here goes the x-axis, Let me focus over the first equation of the circle, that has been x square plus of y square is equals to 1. That would be a circle which would be centered around the origin. Just a minute. Which would be centered around the origin and would have the radius is equals to 1. Till this point, probably each and everything must be clear to all of us. Whether it is really in center or not, probably it is not. So let me shift a bit. Yeah. Now it might be looking like a circle which has been centered around the origin. Now you had another circle. That circle was centered at 1, 1. May I know where the 1, 1 would be precisely? You can do one thing. You can stretch this line horizontally outside. That would be y is equals to 1. And similarly, you can stretch this line vertically upside. That would be y is equals to 1. And this intersection point is the point where the x has been 1 or the abscissa has been 1 and the ordinate has been 1, because this circle has been crossing through 0, 1, minus 1, 0. Here goes 1, 0, and here comes 0, minus of 1. Yes. For the better understanding, let me do one thing. Let me mark this as hedged 1. Yes. This as hedged 1. Now what we are going to do over here, we are going to place a circle over here, keeping this as center. That has to be what I am saying. That has to be orthogonal to the earlier circle. Towards the earlier circle. There could be several kinds of the circle which we may draw, taking the reference of this as center. Like the first circle could be like. Yes. The first circle could be like this. I would like to ask from each one of you. We have got the two different circles, two different kinds of the circle. Let's take, it has been C1, it has been C2. Whether both of the circles are, I repeat, both of these circles are orthogonal to each other or not? No, it's not. How did I know about it? See. How did I know about it? You can simply draw the tangent over this and tangent over this, and once you'll see their angle has not been precisely 90 degree. Could you understand what I'm saying? So definitely this is not the circle which would satisfy my requirement. That means the r is a crucial factor which is going to decide whether which radius of the circle is going to be orthogonal over the earlier circle. You can increase the radius a bit. Let's take. It has been increased to something like this. Let me shift a bit. So here it goes something like this. Now I would like to ask from each one of you. Can you say this circle and this circle, the greenish circle and the yellowish circle, they have been orthogonal to each other? Yes, they have been orthogonal to each other. How did I know about it? If you'll draw tangent over this circle, and similarly once you'll draw the tangent over this circle, you yourself would be able to understand. They have been crossing to each other with the angle of 90 degree. Could you understand what I am saying? Could you understand what exactly I wanted to communicate over here? Anyways, keeping aside each and everything, let me focus over these two equations, and they have been the equation of the circle. And now from there, I would try to get what has to be the precise value of r such that both of the circle would be orthogonal to each other. See, let me focus over the first circle. The tangent over the first circle, how will I get about it? Obviously by the worth of dy by dx. So I would be taking differentiation both of the side. If I do the differentiation both of the side, the result what we get, it's simply gonna be 2x plus of 2y dy by of dx. If the differentiation of 1 takes place, definitely it would become simply 0. It would simply become 0. And now the 2 and 2 has been common both of the side. The 2 can be smashed to the right hand side and definitely would become 0. So the worth of dy by dx, what we are getting now, dy by of dx, what we are getting, it has been minus x divided by of y. Minus x divided by of y. Minus x divided by of y. So find tangent, then apply angle. Oh, anyways. Similarly, if you'll be focusing over the next one, again, the differentiation of this equation has to be taken place. What would be the differentiation of this? It's simply gonna be 2 times of x minus 1. And here it goes 2 times of y minus of 1. And again, the differentiation has to be taken place with respect to the x and has to get compared with 0. What I would be doing next, the 2 has been common both of the side, definitely it's going to be knocked off. The dy by dx, which we have got it over here, is simply going to be x minus of 1 divided by of y minus of 1. It has been the tangent over this circle at any point of x and y, and similarly it has been the tangent over the second circle at any point of x and y. Gajendra Singh is saying 1. We'll see that. Agreed? No? Now what is happening at last? If both of them has to be orthogonal to each other, their slope multiplication has to be precisely equals to of minus 1. Like dy by dx has been the slope of the first circle, which has been minus x divided by y. Similarly gets multiplied with x minus of y divided by of y minus of y, and has to be precisely equals to of minus 1. Agreed? The minus and minus, obviously they are going to be knocked off. The x is getting multiplied with the x minus 1. Towards the numerator side, you would be having the factors like x square minus of x, and towards the denominator side, you will be having y square minus of y. End of the day, y square minus of y is getting shifted towards right hand side and getting multiplied with the minus 1. And once we do so the factor which has been left out towards the left hand side has been x square minus of x, y square minus of y is getting multiplied with the minus 1. Definitely the result what we get, it's simply going to be minus of y square plus of y. Now what we are going to do from here onwards? My dear friends, the y square can be shifted towards left hand side and it would simply become x square plus of y square. Yes. So let me bring this step over here. It becomes x square plus of y square, and even the x plus y has been brought towards right hand side. Yes, no? Tell me, what would be the precise most answer which we are getting over here? What is the precise most answer which we are getting over here? Tell me, what is the precise most answer which we are getting over here? So we have got it, x square plus of y square is equals to of x plus of y. Tell me. So try to understand. X square plus of y square. The x square plus of y square has been 1 over the first circle, but over the point of intersection, even both of the equations would be followed, whether it is the first equation, whether it has been the second equation. So obviously the x square plus of y square can be exclusively fed as 1. So x plus of y simply becomes 1. X plus of y simply becomes 1. But still the value of r has not been found so far. So what I would be doing, I would be taking the reference of this second equation. Let me expand a bit. It would be x square, then it would become minus of 2x, then it would become 1 of square, then it would be y square, then it would be minus of 2y, then it would be plus of 1. And here the x square plus of y square together would become 1, because the calculation has been done over the point of intersection. Here 1 plus of 1 would become 2, 2, and here it goes minus 2 within the bracket x plus of y, and now even the value of x plus of y has already been calculated, and here goes 1 plus of 2 minus of 2 getting multiplied with 1. End of the day, this goes off and it has been 1 over here. That means you had to have a circle which has been centered around 1 comma 1, had the radius is equals to 1, then only you yourself would be able to understand they have been orthogonal to each other. If you take the tangent over this yellow curve, and similarly if you take the tangent over this green curve, they have been following strict 90 degree. They have been following strict 90 degree. Agreed? If till this point each and everything is clear, just write clear, so I'll have the fair idea that you guys are really understanding the core part of the engineering mathematics, from where the questions have been repeatedly picked up. From where the questions has been repeatedly picked up. Tell me, till this point each and everything is clear or not? If it is clear, just write clear, so I'll have the fair idea. Okay, then in the next sequence, in the same sequence, I'm going to take the next question. Here goes the next question, and which would be the 9th question in the series of straight line, and would be the third question of the day. Tell me, let me see the comments you guys are having. Just wanted to ask, could you understand the last concept or not? Tell me. Yes, this has been the next question of the day. The perpendicular from the origin to the line y is equals to of mx plus c meets it at the point minus 1 comma 2. Find the values of m and c. That means you had to design a straight line which has to pass through the origin and should also meet at minus 1 comma 2, but at that point minus 1 comma 2 it has to be orthogonal. Tell me. What I would be doing, again, I would start graphically. Let me take the reference of 2D plane. The vertical axis has been dedicated towards the y-axis. The horizontal axis has been dedicated towards the x-axis. Here goes x-axis, here goes y-axis. Yes, y-axis. Now, if we'll focus over the point has been minus 1 comma 2. That means the value of abscissa has been minus 1. The ordinate has been plus 2. What does that mean of it? That has to belongs to somewhere in second quadrant. So let me mark it over here. Let's take it has been 1 unit, and let's take it has been 2 unit. So this point would be coming somewhere here. May I know what is the precise coordinate of this point? It has been minus 1 comma 2. And what has been said over here, the perpendicular from the origin to the line y is equals to mx plus c meets it at minus 1 comma 2. That means you had another straight line. Which has been passing through minus 1 comma 2 as well as origin. Just a minute. Yes. This has been the first straight line. If you really want to know what is the governing equation of this straight line, easily you would be able to get the governing equation of this straight line, because 2 points through which the straight lines are getting passed are known to me. Anyways, before going into the great detail, the next straight line has to pass through the minus 1 comma 2. That has to be the perpendicular to the earlier line. May I know that straight line would have the slope as positive or would have the slope as negative? It would have the slope as positive. Why? Because that next straight line which has to maintain the 90 degree from the earlier line has to be in this in structure, and obviously as you are moving towards a positive value of x, the value of y is keep increasing. That means the slope has been positive. So whenever you want to calculate few of the mathematical components, you should also be verifying with the graphical outcome. Could you understand what I am saying? So lump sum, which type of structure you will be having? Lump sum, you will be having this sort of structure, and here they would be 90 degree to each other. and you want to get the equation of this straight line. Virtually you want to get the value of m and the value of c. How will you get that? At very first, let me focus over this straight line. What would be the equation of this straight line? Whether we really want to know is the equation of this straight line? No. I just want to know the slope of this straight line. How the slope of this straight line is being calculated? M is equals to y2 minus of y1, or the change in ordinates divided by the change in abscissas. You can take any of the as a first point, and you can take any of them as a second point. Let's take this has been a second point, which has been 0, 0, which has been x2, y2, and this has been x1, y1, which has been minus 1, of 2. Let's take this as been x1, y1. So let me focus over the slope offered by the line 1. What would be the worth of it? Y2. What has been the y2? The y2 has been 0 minus of 2. That has been 0 minus of 2. x2, that has been 0 plus of 1. End of the day, the slope which has been offered by the straight line 1 has been minus 2. Many of the times I have seen the student do mistake. End of the day, they land up with a positive value of 2. No, my dear friends, even you are getting the positive value, still from the graphical understanding, you yourself would be able to understand. As you are moving towards the positive value of x, the y is continuously decreasing. What is the mean of it? The slope has been negative. That's the first thing. Or secondly, if the line falls in the first and fourth quadrant, keep in mind the slope would be positive. You yourself would be able to understand, no? Yes, no? So now focus over the yellowish line. The value of m must be known to me. The m has to follow the relationship, and that has been minus 1 divided by this slope, which has been 1 divided by f2. Yes, no? So here it becomes y is equals to of x divided by f2 plus of c. And if you really interested finding the value of c, obviously you know one of the point through which this yellow straight line goes past through, and that has been minus 1, 2. Obviously by feeding those values precisely, you would be getting the value of c over here. So let me calculate that. The value of y has been 2, the value of x has been minus 1 divided by f2, and the c has been as it is. So obviously minus 1 by 2 would get shifted towards the left hand side. The 2 was already there. The 2 would get added with the 1 by 2 would become 2.5, or 5 divided by f2. So the straight line what you had was equals to of x divided by f2 plus of 5 divided by f2, and they would be perpendicular to each other at point minus 1, 2. If you really want to appreciate this concept in even great detail, so what I would suggest to each one of you, try to draw over the dosmos. If we'll be talking about the first straight line, the straight line would be simply minus of 2x as it has been crossing through the origin. So let me draw that. So here it goes minus of 2x. Similarly, the second equation has been x divided by f2 plus of 5 divided by f2. Anyways, I am going to show each and everything such that you will have the fair idea. Divided by f2. And now it's time to show over the board now. Just a minute. How should I be doing it? Just a minute. Let me connect my mobile to this digital board just to show the actual curve, and whether those curve has been perpendicular to each other or not. Here goes the session ID, which has been 0308881. Let's take the name has been Sonal. Let me see whether it's getting connected or not. Yes, it is getting connected. That's fine. Share my screen. Start. Yes. So what I did, my dear friends, you can see over here, I had the two curves. You yourself would be able to understand. This has been minus 2x, and that has been x divided by f2 plus of 5 divided by f2. This was the calculation which I wanted to carry out. Once you will see their curve, you yourself would be able to understand. Yes, they have been perpendicular at this point. They have been perpendicular to this point. if you really wants to mark where they have been perpendicular, they have been perpendicular. This has been the first straight line, this has been the second straight line, and they have been perpendicular to each other. They have been perpendicular to each other, and that is what my need was. That is what my need was, and precisely where they were, just a minute, where they were getting intersected, they were getting intersected at -1 comma of +2, -1 comma of +2. Yes, you yourself would be able to see the unit place which has been shifted towards left hand side has been 1, so obviously it would be taken as a -1, and towards upside it has been 2, so obviously it would be taken as +2. So this point of intersection has been, the point of intersection has been -1 comma of +2, -1 comma of +2. So till this point each and everything must be clear to all of us, must be clear to all of us. Could you understand? Could you understand what exactly I wanted to say? What exactly I wanted to say? This is all about this problem. This is all about this problem. Anyways, move ahead, and better to go into the next question. Just a minute. I need to search the next question in my PDF. Here goes the 10th question of the day. Here goes the 10th question of the day. What it has been, angle of the line positive direction of the x-axis, that probably you would be able to do by yourself. Let me focus over the question number 11. So I expect the question number 10 you would be able to calculate by yourself, and yes, you had to put over the comment box what's the best most answer you are getting for the question number 10. So any sort of doubt or any sort of mistake you have been doing, no, I would be commenting over the comment itself. So I would expect the question number 10, take the time for the question number 10 and solve by yourself and comment over the comment box, because the live chat would get stopped once the live streaming is getting stopped. So I expect once the complete video is done, you would be sitting with the question number 10, you will be spending some good amount of time over the question number 10, and then you would be giving the best most answer. I would be discussing each and everything over the comment, so you guys would also have a hands-on with the problem. I have seen one of the worst thing with the new generation, they just watch the video but they do not want to do any sort of practice, and end of the day they would be crying, sir, we are not getting the good rank. How will you get the good rank, my dear friends? Whether you are good student, whether it is you are bad student, each and everything is defined just by your practice. Whether you are in practice, whether you are out of practice, in both are the cases you are the two entire different personalities. So let me focus over the question number 11 now. Let me focus over the question number 11 now. Here goes the question number 11. Yes. Here goes the question number 11. If the image of the point 2, 1 in a line is 4, 3, then find the equation of line. Anyways, this point has been rubbed out, but anyways, you can complete it over here itself. This has been the complete problem. And this problem has the problem of image. And you would be dealing with this sort of problem into great detail when we will be discussing about the rotational matrix in linear algebra. So yes, this problem has been the problem of image. And this sort of problem have been repeatedly coming, not much frequent, but yes, the problem have come in instrumentation and civil engineering. So you can expect they may design a sort of problem this. They may design this sort of problem. The problem related to the rotational matrix or the reflection of a certain point taking the reference of x-axis, y-axis, or maybe taking a reference of a certain line has been key passed. Let me see what this problem states. If the image of a point 2, 1, may I know where this point would be taken place? Obviously, it has to be over the first quadrant, and its image has been 4, 3. Then find the equation of line through which the mirror image has been drawn. For that, let me start from the very beginning. I would be taking a xy plane on which the complete analysis has to be made. Here goes the x-axis, here comes the y-axis. Yes, just a minute. and the first point has been the point over the first quadrant as the value of x, or I can say the abscissa as well as the value of y, which is nothing but the ordinate has been positive. So what does that mean by the 2? Definitely towards the x component you had to move by the 2 unit. Let's take it has been the first unit, it has been the second unit. Let's take it has been the second unit. And similarly towards y direction you had to move with only and only 1 unit, which would be 1 over here. So the intersection of 1 and 2 would have the location of 2, 1. And now you had to take its mirror image, and once you take its mirror image, the point has been found somewhere at 4,3. That means towards the abscissa you had to move almost double, and 3 would be coming somewhere here. So the point would be somewhere here at 4,3. Yes, 4,3. So 2, 1 and 4,3. What had happened? Just a minute. Yes, they have been mirror image to each other. The they have been mirror image to each other. May I know the straight line which would come into the picture would have the positive slope or would have the negative slope? Obviously the straight line has to come somewhere here, where the distance or the perpendicular distance from the straight line of the both of the point has to be equally same. Obviously they had to be equidistant, and at the same time when you will be connecting both of the point, that point has to be perpendicular over this straight line. Would you agree on it? You had to agree there is on it. There is no doubt as such must be prevailed in any of the minds. So here the straight line is going to be something like this. Yes. So in future you would be connecting both of the point. The intersection would be perpendicular to each other. Here goes the new straight line, and the equation of the straight line has been y is equals to of mx plus of c. Yes, y is equals to of mx plus of c. How you will get the value of m, my dear friend? You know the 2 point through which the straight line is going to pass. You will know about its slope. Once you know about its slope, obviously m1 into of m2 is equals to of -1 would suffice the requirement of m. So at very beginning just focus over the slope of this straight line. What would be the slope of this straight line? That would be y2 minus of y1, that has been 3 minus of 1, that has been 2, 4 minus of 2, that has been 2 again, which has been precisely 1. Yes. So here it goes, y is equals to of mx, that has been x itself, plus of c. Yes. The slope has been known to me. Just a minute. No. Mistake has been done. No. This has been the slope of this straight line, and if we'll be discussing about the slope of this straight line, it has to be m is equals to of -1 divided by of this one, which would be minus x plus of c. End of the day, what we would be doing over here? I would feed the value of x and y through which this white curve has been passing through. May I know what this point would be? This point has been the middlemost point of 2, 1 as well as 4, 3. So you will take the average of its abscissa, that has been 2 plus of 4, that is a 6 divided by 2, that has been 3, and similarly you will take the average of its ordinates, which has been 1 as well as 3, that has been 1 plus of 3, that is a 4 divided by 2, that has been 2 here. Yes. So you know this straight line, which has been a white straight line, has been passing through the 3, 2. So why don't you feed the value of y, which has been 3? Here it goes -2 plus of 6, c. So c has been plus of 5. So from here you are getting that straight line as minus of x plus of 5. Yes, the slope would be minus of 1, and it would be striking at 5. So how many number of questions we have taken? Let me jump into the each and individual problem. This was the first question, where the problem was to find the equation of the straight line which is tangent and perpendicular over the circle x square plus of y square is equals to 8. Such a enormous problem it was. Such a huge amount of information this problem carries. I am not saying just to get the answer. If you are really intended to just to get the answer, you would be able to get the answer within 1 minute, but you would not exactly learn graphically and the use of the differential equation. With the help of these questions, I could communicate what is the basic information carried by the differential equation and how graphically problem can be dealt easily. Yes, this has been the first question of the day. The second question, we had the two different circles. The first equation of the circle which we had was x square plus of y square is equals to 1. The second equation of the circle which we had was x minus of 1 to the power of 2 plus of y minus of 1 to the power of 2 is equals to of r square. I wanted to decide the value of r such both of this circle, whenever they intersect each other, they must be orthogonally intersecting each other. For that, the value of r has been 1. Here also such a huge calculation and at the same time such a huge amount of information or the concept was getting built. Yes. Once we are done with this, this was the third question. This was the third question where I had a one equation of line. We wanted to have the second equation of line that must be the perpendicular to the first. We got to know about it. And next, we were discussing about the mirror image. Yes, so this is all about today's video. We would be meeting with the basics of the videos of the engineering mathematics in tomorrow's video, precisely at 9 p.m. Till then, bye-bye, take care, and yes, be patient. Try to write whatever I say in the class. Try to do the practice, and even I have given one homework. The comment must be present into the comment box of today's video. I will try to give the reply there itself. Again, I would say bye bye, take care, keep practicing, and yes, keep doing hard work. Good night.